So I want to be clear that this is supposed to be done. And when you get it finished, both sides, you're going to get it stamped by the substitute, okay? If you do not get it stamped, you will not be getting 2 points. I will be expecting to see this when I come back on Monday. All right, solving by substitution. This is review. So this is when we're going to take this, and it goes in for y. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to circle and point. So I'm going to write the 4. I'm going to write the x. I'm going to write the minus. I'm going to write the 5. But then I need to put the negative 3x equals negative 17. Now, this is multiplied, but you want to be careful because you're multiplying negative 5. Okay? Actually, we're going to change that to a negative 19. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay? So then this becomes 4x. And a negative times a negative, change that to a 19. Negative and a negative will be a positive. And then we do the line, same. Divide. X equals negative 1. So now I got my x. I need to plug it in. I can either pick this one or this one, but this one is easier because it says y equals. So I'm going to plug that negative 1 in there. I'm going to go negative 3 times negative 1 is 3. That's my y. I got my x. I got my y. Write it as a point. It's not real. Write it as a point. Let's go to the next one. This one is actually very similar. See how it says y equals negative 3x? But this time you're going to take all of this and plug it in there. Okay? So I'm going to write the 4. I'm going to write the x, I'm going to write the plus, I'm going to write the 2. But instead, I'm going to write all of this instead of y. So now, rainbow. Draw my line. Same. This is a stay, move. Now remember, if I'm bad at subtraction, I can go in my calculator to, let me make it bigger so you can see, I know the light is there. So I can go 2 minus 4, and that gives me negative 2. Negative 2x equals negative 2. Divide by negative 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. If you're not sure, you're going to go negative 2 divided by negative 2. And there's my positive 1. So I got my x. Now I need to plug it in and get my y. Remember how we took this one and plugged it into the first one? Let's do the same thing. So it's going to go right in there. So I'm going to go, let me move this over, negative 3 times 1 plus 2. Negative 3 times 1 in my calculator is negative 3 plus 2, which is negative 1. I got my x. I got my y. I write it as a point. First comes x in the alphabet, then comes y. So both of these are solved by equal values. Oh, this is review. Okay, rain, bow.
Good morning, El Cajon Valley High School.
On the right side, you're going to box it out. So I'm going to go like this and make my little box. 5x plus 3x minus 1. 5x times x, 5x squared. 5x times negative 1, negative 5x. 3 times x, 3x, negative 3. Remember, these are same. So you're going to add them. I should have left more space, so I'm going to rewrite this over here. So there's my rain. There's my bow. 5x squared. Negative 5 plus 3 in my calculator. Negative 5 plus 3, negative 2. And then minus 3. Oh, look, same, by. Now, I want to be careful with this one. There's an x here, and there's an x here. If we move this over here, I wouldn't have anything left. So I need to move this over here by doing the opposite. I get 12x equals negative 3. Divide by 12. Now, some of you are good at this. If you're good at this, you know to simplify. If you struggle with fractions, what you're going to do is go -3 divided by 12, enter, second PRB, 1/4. I would like some of you to know divide by 3, x equals -1/4. It doesn't matter if you do it here or in the calculator. Give me the right answer. Okay, let's do this one. This one is also solve for x. So that x should not be moving. So that means I'm going to move the 8y first by doing the opposite. Always do the add subtract first. Do the divide second. So close. I need to get the x by itself. Divide by -2. X equals a positive over a negative is a negative. A negative over negative is a positive. Okay. Now let's flip it over. And this time, instead of solving by substitution, we're going to solve by the equal values method. So this is when I take this and set it equal to this. Okay? So I'm going to take 4x minus 6 equals -x plus 14. Stay, move, move. I'm going to make it a 1 for my own sanity. By 4x plus 1x is 5x. 14 plus 6 is 20. Divide 5, x equals 4. I got my x. Now I can either pick this one or this one. I'll pick the first one. So I'm going to take my 4 and I'm going to plug it in. So 4 times 4 minus 6. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 6 is 10. It's not real. First comes x, then comes 5. Okay, so I got 4, 10. Same thing, equal values method. X equals. That's how you know it's the equal values method. So -7y equals 4 minus 3y. If I move this over here, I wouldn't be left with anything. So that's got to stay. So this is going to move. -4y equals 4. If you're not sure about how to do that one, you're going to go -7 plus 3 in your calculator. You got to practice this so you're good for the test. There's my -4. Divide by -4. 4 divided by -4 is -1. Y equals -1. I have my y. Now I need to plug it in and get my x. I'll pick the first one. The first one has been very popular for me. So I'm going to go -7 times -1, x equals 7. What comes first? X and y. Okay. Let's do some review. Solve for y. As I'm solving for y, this has to stay. So that means that moves. But the problem is there's that negative there. That means there's an imaginary -1. Divide by -1, divide by -1, divide by -1. Y equals a negative over negative, positive, a negative over negative, positive. Let's come over here and do this one. Solve for y. So that means that's a stay. That's close to it. That means multiply. Multiply second. So you're going to move this first. Minus 5r, minus 5r. Qy equals w minus 5r. That's a 5, not an s. Now I still need to get that y by itself. So I divide by q, just divide by q. So y equals w minus 5r over q. Okay, what you need to do when you finish this, you need to get the substitute, get the teacher to stamp it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come like this. You're going to put it in your notebook. And you're going to glue it. So you'll go like this. And you'll fold it. Let me make it bigger. So what you're going to do now is you need to make sure, I don't remember if I said it, but the teacher needs to stamp it. Then you're going to come over here. You're going to go like this. And you're going to glue it. So you're folding. And then you're going to glue it. I'm going to be looking that has a stamp.